My name is Lance Reeder. I'm president of Crank Golf. And today we're going to talk about something that is really exciting to me. One of the things that we really pride ourselves on at Crank Golf is that you really can't flatten a crank driver. So the face of a driver, obviously we saw this before, this is the Beta Titanium face. And the biggest thing for us is, especially with distance hitting, especially with bigger hitters, is how do you maintain the shape of the face. This is a bulge and roll gauge. Probably $5, maybe less. And everybody should have one. I don't care if you're a long driver, if you're a golfer, if you're a bigger hitter golfer especially. What's really happening out there is that people don't realize that the face of their driver is flattening. You buy a driver, you get it for a month, you're killing it, and all at once you can't hit it straight anymore, and it looks incredible. I mean, it looks normal. The truth is, the face that started at 1010 is no longer 1010. But nobody really looks. It's really quite amazing to me. I mean, an example would be this. We're not going to throw any manufacturers under the bus, but we are going to show you an example of a driver that originally started out around 1010 that clearly today is not at 1010. Now, I don't know if you can see in here, there's a lot of space underneath the bottom of that, in the center of that, both ways. This is a 2020 bulge and roll driver. This is a driver that started at 1010. Well, guess what's going to happen to the ball when you hit the ball when you lose that much bulge and roll? But if you look at that driver, it looks in good condition. But the truth is, if you lose the bulge and roll, which is going to now affect accuracy because you're not getting the gear effect that brings the ball back to the middle, but you're also losing a tremendous amount of spring effect. Now, with everything that's been talked about with CT testing and who's got the fastest driver, we've got our own concepts on that. We've won 19 world championships because clearly we control the metal in our face better than any driver in the world because we flatten less than any driver in the world. To my knowledge, there's nobody even close to what we do. Tim Burke wins the world championship with this driver. He signed it for me. He gets his own special color because it's the second time he won. But I think it's really important to understand this driver being hit at up to 150 miles an hour virtually didn't flatten at all. It started at 1010, 9.5, 9.5. It's currently at 1010. So how we control our faces, how we control our bulge and roll is super important. And crank comes in at about 9.5 or 10 bulge and roll, and they're all handmade. And the goal here is, how do we keep your bulge and roll? And if you don't understand this, you're losing a tremendous amount of accuracy and you're losing a tremendous amount of distance. And so basically, go buy a bulge and roll gauge. Check your driver. And remember that if you are a little bit slower swing speed, you're going to get less flattening. But when you're hitting a cast driver that has a little insert face in it, it's going to flatten quite a bit more. The metal's not nearly as hard as the metal that we use when we're using a full cut face that we can harden separated from the head and then weld it on the head. And, of course, we don't have any weld marks in the center of our face. So go check it out. It's a big deal. A lot, especially if you're a bigger hitter. And if you're a long driver, you just can't hit heads that flatten. Go to crankgolf.com, check us out. We have the fastest drivers on the planet.